If you have a child who maybe did well academically in high school and now went away to college and is struggling, that can be really confusing given their past academic success. However, can expose some hidden struggles that likely didn't manifest in high school given the different environment. So let's explore why your child may now be struggling in college where before they weren't really having these issues. So some of the drivers behind that, one can be difficulty with executive function. So executive function is our ability to manage ourselves, so to handle school. It's not so much reading and math, it's kind of everything around school and how they actually do school. So being on top of their work, being able to plan and prioritize, knowing how to manage their time and study. And these struggles can be masked in high school if you are an involved parent and have been checking in on them to make sure they're on top of their work or helping them get it done if they get behind, or maybe the school provided some of those supports and helps. In college, they're on their own, right? Executive function weaknesses make independence difficult when they no longer have the supports that they were receiving in high school. So executive function often shows up as weaknesses in like working memory, resulting in forgetfulness, careless mistakes, and difficulty planning. As well as processing speed can affect executive function, making students prone to fall behind, and then they get behind and it just feels too overwhelming to catch up and they just avoid it. So that's one driver behind college struggles. Another is test-taking difficulty. So in high school, students can get by and even be on the honor roll if they just are diligent about turning their work in, but maybe don't do great on tests because the homework is a big part of calculating their final grade. Well, in college, that's not usually the case. Usually in college, homework is used to prepare for tests. And if your child is a poor test taker, that's going to be exposed in college. And if they struggle with tests, that can also turn into test anxiety. So if your child struggles with test taking, often that's a result of several skills that may be weak, like long-term memory. They can't retain what they studied, or processing speed. They're running out of time on timed tests. Maybe reasoning is a challenge, and which would make them struggle with multiple choice and deductive reasoning, or attention issues where they're getting distracted. Attention or ADHD can also make college difficult. So depending on their major, most college students now spend a lot more time listening to lectures where they maybe weren't as much in high school. And so, if you struggle with attention and you've got to focus for 30 minutes to absorb the lecture, they're going to struggle, right? They're going to miss key information, which then shows up as maybe test-taking issues or not really knowing what to do on an assignment. So if you have a student struggling in college, the biggest question is why? LearningRx can answer that question for you with a simple 60-minute assessment.